Hey guys, welcome as we get into our first non-Zerg player of the day. It is going to be coL.Heart. coL.Heart, who is going to be the very strong Terran player in the bottom left. I think I remember he's the one that took out Huck in one of those tourneys a while ago. Later on, I think it was one of the MLGs. I don't remember. I think that was him. I don't know, but he is going to be going up against ST.Curious, who's going to be the Zerg player in the top left, so we still have a Zerg player in this series. In fact, there's actually 6 Zergs in the round of 8 for this TSL qualifier. It is incredibly Zerg heavy because we actually have TSL Hune in the next one that we are going to be watching, as TSL Hune is another very strong Zerg player. Oh my God, does he compete in every single online tournament ever. I'll talk about that more when I actually cast him, but for now, we've got ST.Curious, we've got coL.Heart, and we are going to be in such a good game. And I really am curious about what the vote is going to say for this particular series, because it's our first non-mirror matchup. So if you guys would be so kind as to actually go to zanderfeverSC/vote and get that going. It looks like it's actually not updated, so let me actually quickly get that going. So we're going to have, I'm going to put it in Heart and Curious. So there we go. You guys should now go to zanderfeverSC/vote and do that. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now that we've got that going, let's take a look at the starting build orders. We'll probably have a 15 hash from Curious. He's up to 15 food, 300 minerals, and the drone is there happily turning into a building. So Heart is just going for the barracks to the front. We don't have any gases for him, so it looks like we're going to be seeing him go for a gasless expansion, which is really becoming the most common build order for Terrans to go for. It's still kind of a reactor to Hellion expansion, because what they generally do as a Terran is they'll go for the gasless expansion, get the command center, throw down double gas basically immediately, and with that double gas they'll throw down the factory and the reactor as quickly as they can after this first barracks, produce their double Hellions, and gain a very solid amount of map control. And their most common follow-up to that specific build is to then go for Banshees with Cloak. Because you have that double gas income, you can go for Cloak Banshees, and it is actually an incredibly powerful, quick, decisive follow-up, because you have the Hellions that can then harass and move in, you got the Banshees that can also harass and move in, and it kind of becomes the biggest worker death build the Terran can possibly do in terms of an opener against a Zerg player, and it's very hard to deal with. You gotta try and balance as a Zerg, getting out Queens, get out Lings, maybe Roaches, Spine Crawlers, do you want Spore Crawlers, can you get Detection, do you need to get your Lair, how can you balance your third timing? There's so many positional things and small tiny things that can make it hard to defend against, even if a Zerg is ready for it. So that's a huge threat for Curious. It really makes it so that the Zerg has to respond to the Terran. On the flip side, though, what Zerg can do is then just go for Roaches early on, just bust through. Because if you can go for Roaches against the massive amounts of Hellions, then you're pretty much golden. But then you also got to factor in the fact that Terran can go for Marauders and go for more of a Marauder Hellion style of play, or not even go for the reactor Hellion thing that I was just talking about. Wow. So we got 3 racks. We do not have the reactor Hellion Banshee play that I was just talking about. We're going to possibly just have straight normal bio out of here for Heart. And now I'm going to be curious to see if he's going to go to add on the kind of siege tanks and everything. Or he's going to go for 2-fac siege tanks, go for 1-fac siege tanks, go straight for medevacs, and go for no siege tanks, go on Marauders and all that stuff. But it looks like Curious is going to be going for some Roaches. So now the question is the Roaches going to be for defense against the assumption of Hellions, or are they Roaches to actually go for a big Roach bust? Looking at the money over here, it's kind of looking like we're going to see a Roach bust out of Curious. It could be very effective, and are we going to have Marauders, or what out of these guys? We've got the eBay down, so we could definitely see the +1 infantry, but I'm kind of waiting to see Stim and some Marauders to come out. We do have 1 bunker out in the front. That's going to be very good for dealing with the Roaches, because there are 10 Roaches coming out. This is definitely going to be a bust coming out of Curious. And once the Roaches start moving out to hit Heart, Heart only has 1 bunker. And if you look at the placement of the bunker, it's great against Zerglings, but this mineral patch and this bottom wall and the supply depot are all going to really hurt the surface area of repairing SCVs. They're going to be able to have this get hit. And with these roaches moving across the field very quickly, this is going to be a rather strong attack. But as far as the follow-up goes, it's just going to be macro. We've got 7 drones coming along. We even have 3 lings. That's kind of interesting to have 3 lings there. And there is 1 marauder. So we have more marauders coming to play right now, which there are not. That could definitely help against us. But right now, Curious is going to stream forward. We've got the roaches going to be streaming forward. They're going to go ahead and start attacking. They're picking off some of those marines rather effectively. But the marauder is going to be loose. That marauder get picked off. We have 2 marines in there. The marauder is going to get picked off before it can even get into the bunker. That is huge. We're having the bunker get focused down. There's no SCVs repairing it yet. The roaches are all focus firing down. There's not enough surface area for the SCVs to repair. And now the roaches are going to be pushing forward and killing off SCVs. We've got 10 SCVs now gone, 11 now dead, and with these roaches, looks like they're just going to retreat, or not. They're going to continue being aggressive. I mean, why not? They all have deep red health, and looks like Curious is going to keep them alive. Retreat. If he can get the burrow out and just start healing them, they'll be great for another assault. But that was definitely a successful attack by Curious. We now have 27 SCVs against 36 drones. Not the biggest kind of drones, but the damage was done. So even though it's lower eco from both players, it's still a bit of lead for the Zerg. Oh, Curious has got to be so careful with these roaches right now. They're very, very weak. And we see him get picked off. Target firing on the weak roach. Nicely done by Heart. He's got a marauder. He's got to continue getting the marauders out, which he is definitely doing. But he's going to be able to get medevacs out shortly as well. His +1 attack is actually completed for his bio, which is hugely, hugely important. And with that +1 attack, he's going to do a lot of damage against these guys. And with this added few lings here for Curious, they're going to be functioning as great ways to kind of stop the kiting. If Heart pushes out, those lings move around to the backside. They start getting surrounded from this angle. Roaches come in from over here. And you have a full pincer, and these marines and marauders all of a sudden can't kite. They can't micro, and they get killed. That's the goal of the Zerg. They want to kill the Terran, especially in TVZ. Alright, so now we've got a ton of banelings, 16 banelings, very nicely done. Do we have, is this still hatchery tech? Yeah, it's hatchery tech. He's doing the 111 Zergling hatchery tech cheese, where you go for lings, roaches, and banelings. And he's going to be able to just try and stream forward. And Heart's got a little bit of a spread, not the biggest spread. I mean, this is still a pretty significant clump, but it's enough that he'll be able to just split with his massive APMs. So now here we go. We've got the fluorescent blue banelings going to be, I just call them painlings accidentally. Now we're going to start moving forward. The painlings. I can't believe I just made that up. I feel like such a tool. But the death and massacring that's happening is incredibly significant. We're having all those banelings getting the connections down there. We're going to have all those SCVs retreating into the main base. But no! Heart just locked in all the SCVs right over here. And they start getting damaged, but they're going to see them getting retreated by the medevacs. Nice little move there. Oh, but Curious is dealing devastating amounts of damage. More banelings are being morphed. We're going to have all these guys streaming forward in a second. The roaches, there's actually no repairing. This is actually a damaged supply depot. But there's going to be the repairing. These guys are not auto-repair. They're manually being right-clicked. This supply is actually going to supply block Heart. So we're going to have the Baneling streaming forward. They're taking out the reactor, SCVs, everything, and Curious is going to be streaming, and I don't think Heart's going to be able to take this victory. The Baneling's going to destroy all those SCVs. The SCVs are gone. 46 dead. 46 SCVs are now dead. This is it. Curious just won. Curious is destroyed. This tank is going to try and win it for the Terran, but that's not happening. GG gets called. That is game. Curious wins game number 1 in a decisive Zergling Hatchery Tech 111 cheese. Well done by him. Let's go to game 2.